Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to my Certified High Performance Coaching Training Series in support of Dianne's CHPC Recertified Project 2017. This is an online crowdfunding campaign hosted on Generosity by Indiegogo and was kicked off on April 17th to help me raise the funds that I will need to recertify as a Certified High Performance Coach in June. I have a series of about 10 videos that I've already recorded in the areas of clarity, energy, courage, productivity, and influence, which are the 5 pillars of high performance that certified high performance coaches such as myself use with our clients to help them get to higher levels of achievement. So you can check the link down below if you've missed any of those videos. The campaign runs through May 26th, so hopefully you have opportunity to go by and support me, not only financially, but as well with the goods and services that I am still seeking as perks so that I can entice people to come to the website, to get involved with the campaign as well. Today, as promised, it is Energy Tuesday. That's N-R-G Tuesday. And as promised last week, I told you that I would have a very special guest. This is Abena Otudor. She is my dearest friend in the entire world, my sister from another mother. She is my, I guess, my health guru, kind of, I don't know how to describe, but she's the first one that got me thinking seriously about health and wellness. She's a holistic practitioner, and she's looking at health and holistic terms, even beyond the diet and nutrition, which we're going to talk about today, because she also does counsel people on financial wellness as well. And so I wanted to have her join us today to continue our conversation on energy. She is going to speak broadly about what high performers need to get and stay at levels of achievement. She has been a practitioner in this area for almost 30 years. Yeah. And so she's also been on a professional level endorsed by Queen Afua, who all of us who know and are familiar with the holistic health industry. She is one of the world's known experts in holistic health. And so I have her here today. She's going to do most of the talking. This will probably likely be a 2-segment recording here. So just because she's got a lot to share, and I want to try to jam all of this into a short period of time. So we are going to get started first off to talk about what in terms of energy, what are some of because as you know, I've given you some challenges to look at ways that you could use some of the suggestions that I made in your everyday life around diet and nutrition, which is the N, the R, which will be rest and reflection, and then the 2 G's, which is go, meaning moving your body with exercise, and gratitude. And so Sister Abena is going to talk about the area of diet and nutrition as well as reflection, because that's her area, that's what she does. So I want her to speak specifically to how high performers can benefit in all the areas of the pillars of high performance as we spoke about, which is clarity, the courage, productivity, and influence, once they're able to get to their highest and sustained levels of energy. So Sister Abena, I'm going to turn it over to you. We're going to, I'm so excited to have you, and we're going to learn a whole lot today. So,
wow.
You're awesome.
Well, let me just say, quite naturally, I am very happy and honored to have this time to come and share what I have to offer in terms of a discussion on wellness. Be it your body wellness, your financial wellness, your business wellness, your job wellness, your household wellness, but wellness is the key. But before I get into that and share with you, I want this to be an interactive session, and you're going to like this because I'm going to challenge you and engage you. I want to say a word to Dianne about how proud I am that she is standing the course and really, really pushing for others to be at their best. And it's really, really important as we go through life to be at our optimum, at our best. And this, the high performance notion of activating your life is very, very key. So kudos to you for
Much thanks.
being on the path to doing this. Take a breath. Take another breath. And take a deeper breath. Did you know that above all the things that you participate in when it comes to health and healing, the breath is something that you cannot do without? You can do without water for about 7 days. You can actually get it through other means like spinach or orange or watermelon. You can even go without sleep, maybe up to 7 days without just really crashing. But the breath, the air that you breathe is something that you have to have. Without oxygen, without breathing, without that air, you will suffer brain damage in 4 minutes. That tells you how critical it is to have air in your body. And oftentimes we breathe in, as we're busy, as we've been taught, we breathe shallowly, we breathe from here. The secret in breathing is to breathe here. Take another breath. You should breathe so deeply that your stomach protrudes just a little bit. Just poke it out just a little bit. Take another breath. Doesn't that feel good? Mm-hmm. And as you breathe, you're also centering yourself. As you breathe, you're centering your thoughts. You're centering your body. I used to wonder, growing up and moving around the house as children, and if one of us said something that we didn't like or we kind of got a little ticked off, we go.
Oh, yeah.
I did not realize at that time that may be one of the reasons that I have such a loving family is because we take the time to breathe. You know, before you fly off at the mouth, fly off at the handle, get all bent out of shape, take a breath. And every time you see me do that, you take one too, because the breath is really healing. I'll share another story with you. If you can believe this, I attended a workshop for a complete hour. It might have been maybe 2 hours. I can't remember. It was a couple of years ago. The topic of the workshop was breathing. And I'm like, this is too simple. Nobody can make an entire workshop out of the breath and breathing. Is just air. Come on. You know, we do it in our sleep. We do it every day, all day long. How deep can it be? So inquiring minds want to know.
Exactly.
So I went, and do you know that I was totally engulfed in the process of breathing by the time I left the workshop, and I was more conscious of the breath. And we even did laughing exercises. And I'm like, what a wonderful way to get the breath in, laughing. Because he just said, everybody, start laughing out loud. Number one, it felt good. But number two, it was a different way to get the breath in that I hadn't thought about. Let me tell you this. The practitioner said, okay, I want you to focus on some area of your body that's in pain, it's out of sorts, it's discombobulated, just focus. We're going to do the deep breathing. We're going to play some drums, just slightly, but the focus is on the breath. Mm-hmm. And I promise you, I wish it was more deeper than that. It's not. So I did as he told me to do. I focused on the breath, and I kind of concentrated on my knee, thinking about my knee and the oxygen moving to the knee. Do you not know that my knee felt better coming out of the workshop? This is the power of the oxygen flowing through your body. I cannot tell you how fortunate we are to have something so simple that we control every day be such a powerful tool for healing for your body. So whenever you get discombobulated or want to come back to the center, do some deep breaths. Come on, do it with me. Some deep breaths. Stick that stomach out and do some deep breath. Remember what it does. It heals you. It balances you. It centers you. It keeps you calm. Mm-hmm. And it really does. I've witnessed it. If you don't believe me, try it yourself. Just for a few minutes a day. And then as you get more into it and in tune to it, you would be amazed at the wonderful benefits of healing the breath. It's such a simple thing, but it can do loads to heal you and move you forward. And as I said, to center you.
And so as we're being deliberate with the breathing, when we're finding ourselves in situations as high performers where there's the pressure of stress, the pressure of getting things done, the pressure of having difficult conversations with people, where we're going into those environments, what is going on with the breathing and with the oxygen that we're taking in that you feel kind of helps us, I guess, approach those situations and helps already prepare us before? Because I remember some time ago, I was, this is many years ago, and I was, this may lead us into the meditation thing, but I was talking with a coworker of mine, and she said, before she goes into any, whether it's a conversation or she's got to make a presentation of it, and she sends a thought out, or she does the breathing, but she's not only, it's a connection between what she's feeling here and what she's thinking as well. Before she goes into she says, I already sent my energy out to prepare that situation for me before I even walk into it. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard about that? And
yes,
part of the breathing, I would guess, is kind of help you prepare for that.
I'm glad you asked that question and bringing up that topic of discussion. Oftentimes, when we're stressed, when we move in fear, like we stop the breath. Mm-hmm. We stop the flow of the breath. When we're stressed out, we're moving to and fro, we're going here, we're going there, we're taking the little shallow breaths. And our body is not being fully oxygenated. Mm-hmm. And because it's not being fully oxygenating, we're not getting the full benefits of the air that we're taking in. We're taking in just enough to stay alive and to keep functioning, but we're cutting off a major flow when we're stressed out and when we're fearful. The times that you need the breath most is when you're stressed out and when you're fearful. That's why it's you have to be more aware of the breath and the breathing. And when you like, oh, or, you're, kind
fight
of,
or flight.
yeah. And you're taken aback by a situation. Watch your breath. Just watch it just be an observer to your own physical state. It's the breath is stopped. You're like, well, what you want to do is whatever comes your way, you want to be mindful of. I can't believe you said that. You take that breath. Oh my God, I got 10 things to do today. Keep doing the 10 things. But as you're doing the 10 things, keep breathing. It's so key. It's so key. And as you send that energy out, as you were saying earlier, you keep taking those deep breaths, and people feel that. They pick up on that energy. And as you're breathing, you're starting the flow, the health flow, the oxygen moving up and down and through your body, your arteries and your veins pumping blood. All of this is facilitated by the breath, the air that we breathe. So you've got to be, I guess that key component that you mentioned, clarity. Be clear on how important air moving through your body and what that means in terms of your health. Extremely important. Extremely.
So we've covered air. When we think then about you, because you've been a vegan for many, many, many years now. When we're talking about what we're putting in, because air is one of the things that's going into our bodies. When we talk about nutrition and diet and us getting to our peak levels and staying there in terms of what we get done every day, how clear we are, how courageous we show up in the world, how much impact we have on people. What does diet and nutrition, what role does that tangibly play? Where in the fact that you literally are what you eat, and so there are certain things, certain foods, certain maybe times even of the day that you eat that can affect those particular areas. Can you talk a little bit about how the impact of that?
Oh yes, I started in my 20s on path to being vegetarian some couple of years ago, of course, and the importance that a meatless diet has had on my impact, I can only say that I have felt mounds and mounds of energy when I didn't even think that I would be able to command any. It's just a whole lifestyle that I have created. It has allowed me to have better health, have the clarity of mind, to line up certain health practitioners when I do need to have some second opinions on my health and well-being. It just opens up a whole plethora, a whole ton of, exercising, qigong, so many things. But I will share this with you. In the world that we live, oftentimes to go the path that is less traveled sometimes is of huge, huge benefit. And I'll put it to you like this. Carnivores, or animals that are naturally inclined to be carnivores, flesh eating, their intestines are very, 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 very short. It has to be that way because they just, like, if you think of a lion and he's hunting and he snatches a zebra right off the plains, he's eating through skin, he's eating through hair, he's eating through bone to get to the flesh part, right? So that's a lot and it's not cooked. He doesn't take it over to the grill and fry it, right?
No barbecue going on there.
No barbecue
Right.
sauce, no bread,
That's literally wrong.
and dice with a tomato garnish.
That's right.
So he has to have very, very short intestines to get all of that, what I just mentioned, from the zebra in and out in a very short time. If not, the toxins would set up and kill him in a very short time. Well, not to get too graphic or to go into too long a detail, our intestines are very, very long, okay? The average person's intestines are at least as long as they are tall, and probably a lot longer, but at least as our intestines. So that means that it wraps around and wraps around and wraps around and goes, has a lot of curves and bends. And when we put things in our system, like meat, like too much sugar, like too much starch, not enough plant-based items, not enough freshly prepared fruits and vegetables, we become toxic. We become ill and with so many illnesses because our bodies, quite frankly, were not designed to consume meat, and especially not in the quantities that we consume them. So as the meat is trying to pass its way through the intestines, it sits for a long period of time. And when it sits for a long period of time, it begins to decay. And in the decaying process, it produces a lot of ills. A lot of issues, health issues, can be identified according to what your intestinal system looks like. So if you're a person that's prone to any type of intestinal disorders, if you have acid reflux, if you have constipation, if you have runny bowels, check what are you putting inside your system. Probiotics is really key and will help you if you have any digestional things, by the way, just that's inside. But just be aware that and thank you for asking the question, because a lot of people don't realize when you're seeking to be your highest level best, you don't want anything to slow you down. So I made a decision in my 20s that I would consume a plant-based diet, and then from there I took it up from vegetarianism to veganism, and now I'm at a gluten-free diet and with reduced sugar because I realized that sugar's impact on me. So it's like really once a year I'm kind of evaluating and stepping up and doing something just a little bit different, just a little bit better, just a little less sugar, and I'm not perfect by any stretch of the means, but I am more having more clarity about what I consume and lessening that sugar. And I'm telling you, it has made a world of difference. And I thought I was doing great, in my 20s. And I'm finding that, at my age, not being on any medication, that's a biggie for me. Not having to be on medications and set my clock by it and wake up by it and find out what it's going to match with in my diet, and I can't drink it with milk, can't take it before bedtime, and I'm like, that's not the life I want to live. And so by me making a decision some years ago, and it's not too late for you, by the way, you too can begin to put some changes in place, even if they're little changes, because the little changes over time equal big impact in terms of your overall health.
And really a lot of it is just being more conscious and aware. I think when you're focused on every day getting out of bed, we've talked about clarity and the importance of finding those 3 words that we've already decided before we start the day we want to think about in terms of how we show up, in terms of how we interact with other people, and in terms of what is going to make us successful. What do we need to do? That certainly thinking about pre-planning, what are my meals going to be? What am I going to eat? I already got my water set out.
Yes.
I've already been doing that all day long. And, the morning's now started. I need to start off with high achievers, high performers, or to get to the level of high performance has to be a conscious effort. You have to be aware, be in tune with your body, in tune with your mind, spirit, all of that, so that you are deliberate in the choices that you make. And because we know it's not going to just happen. This is why this is very important to me, making sure that, as I mentioned at the start of this, that I'm able to maintain this certification, because I speak with people in the areas of nonprofit, because that's where I've gotten my teeth cut and professionally. And they want to do so much. There's so much, you could see the passion they have for the work that they want to do, but they're challenged because they don't have the level of energy to keep, they're hesitant about who they are. So they're not really speaking their minds when they have that opportunity. Mm-hmm. They're letting too many distractions take them away from what they need to focus on to get purposely, get things done with a purpose every day. And they're not even sure. I mean, I had one person tell me, they were working at a particular job for however long, and they didn't even feel comfortable going to their boss talking about just issues with their work every day, because they didn't feel that they had that level of impact or even the level to persuade this person they've known for years to say, look, we need to do this a little bit differently. How about thinking about they didn't even feel comfortable. And you're just not going to get to those levels if those are the things that are challenging you every single day. You have to be more deliberate. You have to set yourself up for success and not self-sabotage is, I guess the way that I look at it. So, what I want now for us to kind of delve into a little bit, certainly, is the third thing that I wanted for you to share, and that's the importance of that deliberate thought. And how do we express, how do we think deliberately? How do we get ourselves prepared every day to think deliberately about what we want to put out in the world through the meditation and through mindfulness? I guess it's a term I'm hearing a lot now these days, is mindfulness. Mm-hmm. How can high achievers and high performers use that? What role can that play in them getting to the next level?
Great question. Glad you asked it. Your goals should be the driving force in your life. And for me, I used to be a little more uncentered because I felt like I was being spread so thin. And I still have a lot to do, mind you. But when I think about what I want to accomplish, it's a lot easier to say yes to some things and no to some others. As a matter of fact, no has become one of the most beautiful words in the English language. I'll get it out in a minute. Simply because if what I'm being asked does not line up with my goals, there's a likelihood that I won't participate, and I will say no. Because by saying no to someone that's not in alignment with my goals, I'm saying yes to my goals. And so that makes it a little easier for me to kind of move and function in the world. and to do the things that I want and need to do, love to do. And, you know, there's friends, there's family, there's work. There's all types of things that will come up and make demands on your time. But time is something very precious, because once spent, you don't get it back. Mm-hmm. So you really, really have to go back to that breath, take your deep breaths, but also as you're focusing and getting still, then that's when you want to move into the meditation mode. And I'll put it to you like this. Most people know a lot about prayer, because prayer is talking to God. I urge you and strongly encourage you, even if you want to start out 5-10 minutes a day, to get to the meditation piece, because that's when God talks to you. And as you're getting centered and quiet and still, there's going to be, when you first start, for the average person, there's a lot of monkey mind, and you don't feel like you can do it, and it's too much. I can't be that still for that long. That's where the breath comes in. When you focus on the breath, you soon get to a place where you're kind of putting the outside chatter aside, and things will come up in your mind, thoughts will come up, things will come up. Focus on that breath. You know why you want to meditate? Because the brain doesn't know that what images you put in it are real, have happened yet, or have not happened yet. The brain is like a film. It's like a video that you're shooting. So if you're constantly seeing yourself successful, doing the right thing, being about the right thing, walking into that home that you love. For me, I see myself $11 million. I don't know why that figure came up, but I see $11 million in my checkbook. My brain doesn't know if that's real or not, but I put that image in my brain so many times, I am expecting that to manifest. And things are always lining up in my favor. What looks like a bad day or a bad situation always turns out for my good. And I'm so thankful for that. But I've been meditating as a practice for years, and it helps me when things are just, I just, take those deep breaths, go into meditation. I especially love it, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, when everything is quiet and not a soul is moving but me. It's powerful, and it helps me to focus fully on the things I want to be, the things I want to give, the things I want to share with my family, with the world. And it helps me to be a better person. It helps me be a calmer person, because I really, 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 truly believe that the emotions best worth having are peace and joy.
Mm-hmm. Wow. One of the challenges I think I did mention some time back that I did want to do was get back into that habit of doing meditation, because I don't do it in a conscious, scheduled way. I may be at a particular point in my day and I'm feeling a little overwrought, and then I may just stay still, which it does help me at that point, but I do want to get it into a practice. I do more journaling than I do meditation, which of course I did mention to you all, that's a definite part of the energizing practice, because certainly I think after you go through a meditation process, it's kind of good probably to write down that $11 million you saw, or whatever comes up for you during that period. Not to be shared with anybody, of course, it's your personal your personal thoughts, but I keep a journal just to help me keep record of how I'm feeling about things. And yeah, I go back periodically and take a look at that in that way. But I think we all need those little life hacks. I call them life hacks now. I think that term is coming up a lot these days. Little things that we can do to help us get over the hump.
Mhm.
We all have our little tricks that we need to kind of develop. And I think meditation is a really good one of those, because we can't really control everything that's going on around us. We certainly can control our reaction to it.
Mhm.
And so I think being more deliberate about that certainly is, it's a high performance goal. You know, how can I look within to control how I'm reacting to things so that I'm always working at the highest levels constantly. And so I want to thank Sister Abena for giving us this time today.
Thank you. Thank you.
She is an inspiration of mine. When I was first journeying down this path to trying to just take better care of myself, I was all alone until I met her, and she kind of helped me, gave me some great ideas about how to do it and make it a lifestyle. And I'm certainly committed to that now. That's what I've mentioned to y'all before. What I'm focused on doing, because I want to live a long, healthful, productive life. And as high achievers, we need to do that in a very conscious way, because we are setting a legacy up for people who are coming behind us, our children, grandchildren, everybody else. So we need to be deliberate. I'm always about that, being conscious, being deliberate. So I hope that you all have gotten something from this today. We talked about breathing and the importance of taking the time to take deliberate breaths to re-energize your body. Part of what we're talking about with the energy piece. Certainly making sure that we're eating the right things that are giving us life and not taking that away from us. And the importance of staying still in mindfulness and meditation so that we can listen to the responses of the universe. We've put that out in prayer. We listen with meditation. So I'm going to put that challenge to y'all for this coming week. Find some way to consciously engage in one of those three areas. Take a moment, please, to share your comments and what's come up for you, the feedback about this energy or any of the other pillars or anything about high performance in the comment area below. And please go out, have a fantastic Energy Tuesday, and thank you so much for participating.
And take that breath.
All right.